Neil Payne for the Waterhouse Bot Stable. Everyone's watching the Coolmore Classic on Saturday for some very good horses, including yours, Lady of Camelot.
Yeah, my word. Unfortunately, we've come up with the visitors draw. But look, realistic, you've got a good run there from the 1,500 metre start. And 9 times out of 10, they roll along in these races. So Lady of Camelot can get across, and she can either lead if they're going slow or sit second or third, which, just like before, when she runs second to Lady Shenandoah there the start before in the surround, she can just take a sit behind. So if they're going quick enough, that's what Tim will like to do, I'd say.
He's a great judge of early race pace, and he'll get across probably without taxing the horse. If she's third or fourth without being 3 wide, it's exactly what you want.
Exactly. Tim is a great pacemaker, and like the likes of Lady Camelot, she just switches on and off. She's such a uncomplicated mare, filly, and she just does everything right. So no, she's no worry. She'll settle wherever we want to.
She's had a couple of great battles with Lady Shenandoah recently. It's good form leading into a race like this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that filly's got the better of us, but let's hope we can turn the tables.
What about in the Sky High Stakes? An interesting runner, Vauban first up.
Very interesting, yeah, my word. 1900, I don't know whether Vauban's actually run over 1900 before. I'm sure it's run over, started off in 2400 and over, but 1900. But I tell you what, with Gain Adrian, we have got this horse much sharper. His trials have been good over to 1200, and his track gallop the other day at Warwick Farm was really, really good. So we have got him sharp enough, I feel, with our training to run some kind of race in the 1900 metre race.
Robert Price for yourself and Luke in the Coolmore Classic, Our Gold Hope with Ashley Morgan on board. Barrier 10 makes it a bit difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky from that gate. It would have been nice to draw in a bit softer. The last 3 runs we've been void of speed. It probably wouldn't have mattered where you drew. She's a filly that likes to chase, especially in them shorter races. But, we're up to the 1,500 now, and I suppose the wider gates have a terrible record around the 1,500 at Rosehill. But at the same time, the 2 speed horses are drawn outsider. And this race will have a little bit of speed with Gay's filly being there or mare being there, and the Victorian mare goes forward too. So hopefully we can get a run where we're not going to be impeded in the straight. We look like we found a good spot at Rosehill last start there and ended up getting pushed back to the fence and never really got tested at any stage. It was pretty much the same the other day. So, we're going to need a little bit of luck. There's certainly nothing wrong with the way she's going.
And you'll have a runner in the Magic Night, a bit of a throw at the stumps?
Yeah, it's a bit of a throw at the stumps, although her first ever race start, she ran a solid race at Randwick behind Rivellino, and he's franked that form quite stoutly when his last 2, and he's in the market in a slipper. So she's worth a shot. She was disappointing at Canterbury. She was a little bit overwhelmed by the Colts that night. She's definitely worth another crack. We're aiming up at the Percy Sykes. We're paid up at the Percy Sykes. We're not letting our ambitions run away with golden slippers or anything, but Percy Sykes is $1 million race, and we've won it before, and I think if she doesn't perform on Saturday, she goes to the paddock and there's no harm done.
Sarah Ryan, you'll have a runner in the Midway Handicap on Saturday. So Good, So Cool. Chad Schofield from Barrier 6. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's been extremely unlucky this prep. He is one of those horses that when he steps out, he's always going to try his hardest, and he's just run into circumstances that, wide barriers or, stuck on the fence or just circumstances beyond his control.
Decent benchmark form in Sydney, as you mentioned, and he's been making up ground late in a few of those runs. You're sticking to the 1200 though.
Yeah, especially for this race here, that looks like there's going to be good speed. He'll lob midfield, and he's got a very, very good turn of foot. And the fact that he's tacking on a bit more than he used to last prep means that he puts himself in a better position now.
Naturally, you'll be looking to get runners into the final of the Provincial Midway, and you'll have a runner at Newcastle next week in that qualifier?
Yes, we're going to try again with Muchalata. He was very unlucky in his first attempt at the Newcastle first qualifier, so he'll try again next week at the Newcastle qualifier.
What do you think of the chances there?
I think he's trained on. He was a little bit underdone for that first qualifier, and just his fitness held out that last little bit. He's eaten every oat since he's been there. He looks $1 million. He's a very nice horse, and I think he will make a good showing of himself.
Nathan Doyle got a lot of runners on Saturday, but restricted to the 2 races, 3 in the first race, the Midway, and that's Salazano, Super Bright and the Extreme Cat. What do you think?
Yeah, got a bad draw Saturday, races 1 and 10, but they all had down there in terrific order. Super Bright was throwing the blinkers on. I thought she was a bit disappointing last start. they've been seen to be effective at home. She galloped well on Tuesday, so they'll be applied. She's got a good gait. You can't hustle and bustle her too much out of the machines. You've got to let her get into a rhythm, but I'm sure she'll improve with the blinkers on. Salazano to drop back in grade. She's been terrific. Sort of had a stop-start preparation. We've been able to string some runs together, which is a bonus with her. She's a mare that does well at home and holds good condition, and we've taken the earmuffs off in the run. She's always been a bit of a quirky horse to the gates, but that can also hold them back sort of 3 lengths in the run. So we're going to trial and error there and take the earmuffs off, and if she does everything right in the gates and begins, I'm sure she'll be hard to beat.
In that key clean handicap late in the day, it's Starla that, and a very interesting runner in Harlem Queen, one of your 2 stable stars.
Yeah, Nelly been wanting to retire Doyle at every start of this preparation, but Nash said he's going as good as ever. Just give him one more, he's definitely got another win in him. So Nash is aboard. You never know what you're going to get with him, but he might be able to sort of roll forward from a handier gate this time. He's never been able to draw on a gate this preparation. Harlem Queen, come back super. I think she's a lot sharper this preparation, but naturally she's not a 1200 metre horse. Maybe 1400 mile or 1800 might sort of pull her up, but we just want to go that 1400 so they didn't go sort of ballistic up front and get her out of her comfort zone. She can take a little time to get into a stride, and we just wanted to get into a rhythm, fill her lungs up and show her turn her foot at the back end of the race. And you got James aboard there in the last. Everything seems to be sort of panning out for great preparation for her.
So do you believe that's the right rating, having her as favourite?
Yes, on her work and trials, she works enormous on Tuesday, and her trial behind Private Harry was equally as good. She was attacking the line strongly. Naturally, she's going to improve throughout the preparation, but we feel she's come back a lot stronger filly. She was all leg last preparation, and she got form in Group 1 races. So benchmark 88 with 56 with James aboard probably warrants it, and I look forward to seeing her step out.
Ash Morgan, some good rides in Sydney on Saturday in the Morris McCartan Stakes for the 3-year-olds. It's Perspiration from the Mar stable. Barrier 3 should allow you to get a good run.
Yeah, that's right. No, perfect draw. Obviously scratched last week because the track was on the far side, so any bit of cut's going to help. But drawn a nice gate, and I think the win at the end of last preparation beating Gatsby was great. So I know the stable are really confident when they have the horse.
First up, of course, and it's lightly raced and good form in Victoria and Sydney.
Yeah, that's right. Look, a horse that's shown a bit and has a wicked turn of foot, especially when there's a bit of cut in the ground. So just hoping for the right run in that race. I'm sure the horse will run really well with 53.
Great to have a ride in the main one on the day, the Coolmore Classic. Our gold hope for Robert and Luke Price. They're just looking for a faster pace.
Definitely. Look, I think she's flying the horse. She has 51, and I was keen to ride her because I feel like the last twice I rode her, we've been at the back of a slowly run race, and her finishing sections have been really good, but we just haven't been able to get into the race due to the tempo. So I think hopefully with drawing out a bit isn't a concern, because I think it gives us a chance to blend into the race, but just tempo related really. I think if she gets a good tempo on, she'll be really strong late with that lightweight.
Another one you've got early on is the Extreme Cat for Nathan Doyle in the midway.
Yeah, horse has come back really good this preparation, trialled really good twice, work's been great, so he was able to win a midway last preparation. I think he's come back even better, so I'm hoping for a good run from him.
How's it going for you in Sydney? You're making good strides with a number of different stables, riding work all over the place?
Yeah, that's right. Look, I'm keeping really busy riding work, doing trials, but I'm getting a lot of good support of big stables, and luckily enough to be banging some winners here on Saturday. So we've had a few stakes winners, a few Saturday winners, so it's ticking on well, but of course you have to keep it going.
And Aropa, you're going to be busy on Saturday. Early rides at Rosehill, late in the day Gosford. One of those early rides is Salazano in the midway, and you've ridden the horse recently?
Yeah, I rode him 2 starts back. He probably needed the run that day. We led and got a nice time up in front, and he kicked well at the top of the straight, but I think he just felt the pinch a little bit late. Last start he was a lot better, so back to midway grade, and he should be going really well.
That Gosford race late in the day is the provincial midway qualifier, and you're on Mogul Monarch for Kim Waugh. She's always a player in these events.
She is, and this horse is going super. I've done a lot of work with him at home, and his first up run here was excellent. I got a nice picnic in front, and he kicked really nicely off the home bend. So tight track suits around at Gosford, and he's running the midway last start without a lot of luck was super. So I think he's right in it.
Matt Smith, Headwall, making great ground in recent starts. 4th in the Oakley Plate, 2nd in the Newmarket. You're going to take the top ones on now?
No, he's been good, actually. We took him down to Melbourne last prep and gave him a look at the straight, and he raced really, really good down the straight. So we had the Newmarket in mind for him, and he was a bit unlucky in the Oakley Plate. He was good in the Newmarket, and he's come through the 2 runs in great shape. He'll have a little freshen up now, and we'll have a look at the TJ Smith for him.
Does he enjoy a bit of time between races if possible?
Goes good fresh. A lot of his best runs are when he's freshened up, so it's a pattern that works good for him in the past, and hopefully, with those 2 runs under his belt, he should be spot on, third up.
You can never know for sure what type of weather we're going to get on those big days, but what would suit?
Well, he loves a wet track, so, in the soft or heavy range would be fine for him. He really is good on a wet track, so. But he's proved now this preparation, we had a question mark against him on firm ground, but as he's got older, he's become sounder, and he's really good. He likes a good track as well, so but definitely a softish track would be perfect.
You're a trainer who's been prepared to take his sprinters to Melbourne, and sometimes they've gone better down there, but head wall, better in Melbourne, better in Sydney, good in both?
Well, yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, we have thrown him in the deep end this preparation. We didn't last prep. We sort of took him through his grades and just looked after him and protected him a little bit. But now he's got to step out against the better horses. I thought his Oakley Plate run was outstanding. He was unlucky, probably not to run top 3, top 2. And he backed it up again in the Newmarket. So he's a horse going places, and no reason he won't be competitive in the TJ.
Tommy Berry, naturally, you're in big demand at Rosehill on Saturday. Great ride in the Coolmore Classic, Marble Arch for the Hayes brothers.
Yeah, she's come with some really good form from Melbourne, and just looks like a lovely big loping filly. She can race on speed, off speed, put herself wherever you like, and she's got a lovely turn of foot and was very strong at the end of a mile. So obviously coming back to the 15, she's going to be nice and fit, and she's going to be strong at the end of it.
What do you see from the tapes about where you might have it in the run?
Well, she's drawn a little bit tricky, but the good part about her is that she's got that tactical speed. But watching the guys and Jamie Ryder in Melbourne, they seem to sort of let her get into her own spot, take your time with her. And obviously with Rosehill, you start at the back of the back straight there, so we'll have plenty of time to work out where we're going to be in the run. But luckily enough for me that she's got that tactical speed where if I don't find a spot, I'm going to be able to roll forward. But I'll leave that to the boys to let me know where they want her to be, and as it's only my first sit on her, so I'll be guided by what they've got to say.
Elsewhere in the Sky High Stakes, Kinesiology, what do you think there?
Yeah, look, he's a lovely import. Aussie and the team have a really good opinion of this guy, and he was very good last start. He was nice and strong through the line. So obviously he's drawn wide in a small field. He'll have to get back, but he finishes off well, and even though even if he's back last, he's only going to be 4 lengths off the leader, 4 or 5 lengths off the leader. So he's in for a nice showing on the weekend.
Michael Friedman, a trainer you've had great success with, the Pago, valedictorian.
He was very good first up. We had to ride him forward from what looked to be an ugly draw, but he was able to do that with the way he executed the start. And if he can do that again on the weekend, drawing middle of the field, he'll be able to put himself into a handy spot. But we're very pleased with his efforts. He was first up. He got a little bit tired late after doing the work early, and he'll take great benefit from that. He's worked really well during the week, and this is his chance to have a crack at getting into the slipper. And if he doesn't, there's the option of waiting for the size as well.
And in the other 2-year-old race, the Magic Knight Karinska for the Wallace stable, drawn a bit wide.
Yeah, she's a lovely filly. She obviously got back on debut when she won at Canterbury, and she had a great turn of foot when she only got out at about the 100 metres, and she was very good the other day after getting back and ducking back to the inside, which was the worst part of the ground, but still making up nice ground. So that gives me good confidence. Obviously from that barrier around Rosehill out of the chute makes things very difficult, but knowing the way Chris likes his horses ridden from wide gates, we'll probably have to take our medicine and bank on hopefully good speed in the race and us coming over the top of them late.